this is Robert Reese on the CEO Show, where we speak with the CEOs who have reinvented the fabric of America, with Hector Martinez, who is the head of U.S. insurance at John Hancock, only since 1862. But you had a really unique path of getting here, where you were a competitor, a client, a partner. Talk about a transformative moment that you had in your career.
There's a lot to point to, but I'll speak to the ones that I think are most relevant to my journey here to John Hancock. So you mentioned it a bit, but I'll dive into it just a touch. I spent about a decade at a company called ADP, and most of my journey through ADP started in sales. It didn't start with big strategy. It started with just simple execution, sales discipline, and operating rigor. There was a lot of formative things that happened to me there that I still lean on today. But after a decade there, I had the opportunity to join a brokerage general agency, and it was just starting through a bunch of different acquisitions of smaller brokerage general agencies. And that company was called Bisis. And Bisis eventually became the company that was called Crump when it got brought private through JC Flowers at that time. There was a journey that we went through by way of coming out of JC Flowers to BB&T Bank and then Truist. I won't bore you through that because those weren't the formative moments. But when I came into the industry, I came from an industry of payroll taxes, human resources, and outsourcing, and a sales background. And when I joined Bisis, and I realized that two things. One, we were wholesaling. We weren't direct to the consumer. We weren't business to business. We were wholesaling. There was a difference there. And the second, there were these advisors that we were providing services to, and these advisors were solving problems for their people with this product called life insurance. And I owned a life insurance policy, but I never really thought about the value that it drove. So I'll tell you one plot in my journey that altered the trajectory of the way that I think is when I started to really understand what our products did for people, what our products did for families, what our products did for businesses. And my immediate reaction was we should be doing as much as we possibly can to get this in the hands of more people. That was the first thing, is how do we make sure we get this in the hands of more people? Little did I know that it's an inherent issue in the insurance industry, is that we just don't get enough people. There's over 100 million people in the US that are underinsured or uninsured today. So it's not what I said in 2005 is a real issue, and it's still an issue today. So it's an endeavor that like I said is a plot in my graph that I think changed my trajectory. The second one was when I had an opportunity after 16 years as a client of John Hancock, because as in that broker general agency, I was a client. One of the biggest solution providers that we had and partners that we had was John Hancock, amidst other carriers as well. Was the opportunity to manufacture products, to actually build solutions. And what I mean by that is shifting from the BGA side, the broker general agent side, the distribution side as a client to a competitor now. And I went over to take over the life business. I was the head of the life business over at Equitable for 3 years, and we had an incredible time there alongside many incredible leaders as a competitor of John Hancock. And I would say we competed feature to feature and product to product in what we did, because life insurance inherently is similar. But what we didn't have, and what I realized because I owned a John Hancock Vitality policy, was that the value that John Hancock was driving was very different than the value that we were driving at Equitable. Again, product to product, feature to feature, did similar things. But I didn't know that as a leader of Equitable, I was showing my clients that I wanted them to live longer, healthier, better. And I didn't just hope that they live longer, healthier, better. I was going to help them live longer, healthier, better. So fast forward, that was a plot that said to me, as we're building products, and we built some really good products at Equitable and solutions, and we had tremendous advisors that represented us there. But the idea of driving that value that I just described, again, that value that said, I share something with the client that I'm about to give this policy to or provide this solution for. I want them to live longer, healthier. And I don't just want it. I'm going to help them do it. I'm going to provide them the tools to do it. And I'm going to meet them where they are. And that's that third plot. When I met Brooks 20 some odd years ago, I knew he was brilliant, but it takes a lot to change an industry. It takes a lot to change a 163-year-old company. So when I saw what he was doing here, having been an owner of a policy, having been a competitor of them at Equitable, and having been a client at Bisis and Crump, I just thought, boy, it would be incredible if it's good that we do this for more people. It's really good that we do it at John Hancock. So that's what made me join here.